Okay, so I'm trying to whisper. I don't know if I'm doing a good job or not, but this is the part 4, I think, and the last part. So, I wrote, wait a minute. Don't let people tell you you're lazy or you're depressed or you're slow or that you don't think straight or that you purposely fall asleep places or that you're just being rude because you're yawning a lot or you're not interested in whatever's being talked about or that you just don't really want to do whatever work you're supposed to be doing. You have to know yourself and don't put up with or respond to these comments, especially the ones about weight, like if you're under or overweight, really, because either one can happen when you have these types of issues going on, like insulin resistance, parasites, bacterial overgrowth. Okay, wait a minute, I'm trying to see. And then I put age, etc. Because at least for me, due to the fact that I've been severely underweight for some years now, after the whole shebang, as I'm gonna call it, I'm constantly accused of not really being anywhere near the age I say I am. And I'm not even gonna lie. Laying low, well, wait a minute, that made laying low harder for me. It could probably be easier for most people because honestly, at least in my opinion, I mean, a lot of 12-year-olds, at least the girls, could pass for probably like 19, 20. But one, I don't really do or dress in a lot of stereotypical ways for like my age group. So that and the fact that I'm just as small as I am, and also probably the way that I sound and a couple other things about me just made things way worse for me because I just look so much younger than I actually am, and people think I'm like 10 to 12, 11 to 12. Although I don't really think I look 10. I was actually told that anybody who's telling me that I look 9 is either stupid or they just want to hurt my feelings, because I have had somebody tell me that, and honestly I really don't think that's true. But I also noticed that on the East Coast, well, I won't even just say that, it seems like in quote unquote white areas they automatically think I'm younger than I am because I don't know, they just act like, they say that they expect me to be taller and to just look different, but I mean, for one, people of my ethnic group usually look young. But when I was in the South, in the quote-unquote black areas, it just seems like people of my ethnicity commonly, not always, but they commonly at least don't assume that I'm like 11. In fact, a lot of people automatically just assumed I was like 19, 20, 20 something. Especially when I was at that weather shelter thing when it started snowing. A lot of the people just automatically assumed I was in my 20s or something, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so anyway, my point with that is that I don't really know about other people who have this type of stuff going on with when it comes to their health, but I know with me at least, I've just had to start ignoring comments when it comes to age and other things like that. Although it still causes a lot of issues for my situation because it's just another excuse for the police to harass me, and also for a couple other things. But yeah, overall, ever since I would say like 14, I've just gotten a lot of different comments that were either about me not really being the age I say I am, me not looking my age, or just something revolving around me being underweight. And I mentioned this before. I used to mention it more on the evidence channels though, but that was before I had even realized that I was actually just still dealing with insulin resistance because I was still being gaslit about it. But like, I'm not even gonna lie, that's when a lot of the hurtful comments were said. Like, I mean, sometimes still now, but I feel like, I don't know, I was just around people more somewhat than I think, and I don't know. I just feel like I got more sideways comments than, like, I remember, this was before a lot of things had took place. So this was like before the part 1 channel, and this one girl I used to know, I had finally like got to have an afro. Well, no, not even that. I finally got to start wearing my hair the way I wanted to for a little while because I was staying with my daddy. He didn't really have money for me to really get my hair done, but that's another story. And so I had an afro at this point in time, and my hair had grown out. And so I sent this girl I knew this picture of my hair and how long it had gotten. And tell me why. Like, she just skipped over all of that, and she was like, OMG, you need to eat something, with like a gasping emoji. And I've never really been self-aware, as I always say, so I've never really thought about like weight and all that stuff and like how I look. I mean, I always made sure I had good hygiene, but that was pretty much it, even still now. So it's like, when she said that, I wondered about it, but I never actually really thought that like I was as small as I actually was. Just like when I had the metabolic syndrome weight, as I always say, I didn't notice that I had got as big as I did. I've just never really been self-aware, so I can't really tell when I'm big or small. But yeah, so that was that. Wait, so there was that comment, and that is one of the first sideways comments I remember getting. I also don't really like how, well, I don't really know what her thought process was behind that comment, but I know with other people, I don't really like how, due to the American mental illness obsession, if you're underweight or even overweight, but especially underweight, people automatically assume that like you're on drugs and you have some mental problem and you're starving yourself to death. I don't really like that either, because for one, that's honestly really dangerous, because that could get somebody put in a really bad situation if you run around telling people that. Which also reminds me of a video that I wanted to make, because I wanted to kind of just put out there that I wonder how many people have been locked up for eating disorders because of some physical health issue that they had that was undiagnosed, or that doctors just refused to diagnose for whatever reason. And this is from whether someone's overweight or underweight. I just wonder how many people have been and are locked up somewhere because of being under or overweight, and they're getting told they have a quote-unquote eating disorder. But anywho, yeah, what was the other thing I needed to say? Oh no, hold up, let me hurry up and read this before this turns off, because I don't have a lot of space. Thinking of that girl I met in the Cash for Kids system, I wonder how many people, oh, I kind of already said this, I forgot that I even wrote this down. And the girl that I met in the Cash for Kids system that I mentioned when I wrote this, I've actually mentioned her in a couple of videos. She's the girl who, in one of the thumbnails, she was talking about how she couldn't stop having diarrhea and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, yeah, there was that. I'll put that in the description. Well, actually, no, because I don't think I'll have any more space in the description for that. But it's in one of the playlists about, maybe psychotropic drug truth or, I don't know. I don't even really remember. But yeah, I wonder how many people have been kidnapped, locked up, stripped, drugged, tied to beds, and tube fed for money after getting an ED label when they actually had some health issues. So there's that. Second story that I could mention. This was one of the second, I guess I could say, wake up call comments that I had got. Other than things that were said to me by relatives sometimes, but I didn't really pay attention to that either, because, like, they always said stuff. But this was still when I was staying with my dad again for a little point in time. So this one girlfriend my dad had that was also on the Part 1 channel. I remember one day she just brought up the fact that she thought that I was 10. And I was like, you thought that I was 10, but I'm supposed to be in, I don't even know what grade I was supposed to be in, to be honest. But, anywho, I said something about whatever grade I was supposed to be in, and I was like, you thought that I was 10 this whole time? And she was like, well, yeah, I guess I never really thought about that part, but yeah, I thought you were 10. I thought you were younger than my 12-year-old twin daughters. But I think that also has something to do with the fact that, like, I was in a really isolated situation, and I feel like that was probably one of the times where I was the most, like, locked down, I guess I could say. So I wasn't able to really do much. And so I think that also played a part in why she thought that I was 10, but yeah. And she was like, you're really smart for your age, but I thought that you were just an extremely, extremely smart 10-year-old. And there was that. And it's like I said, I've never really been self-aware. So it just makes me think, do I really look that bad? That's what it really makes me think, but I'm just really not self-aware when it comes to that. So it's like, I really can't tell, but it's like people say things all the time that makes me wonder about how bad I actually look. And I think that also kind of goes hand in hand with how some people have felt about my medical gaslighting in situations with, like, medical professionals, because people are like, well, if you've really been 80 pounds, or you've really been this, or you've really been that, or if you really have people saying all these different things to you and you get all these different comments, then the doctors should also see that. And I don't think people get, these people, they don't care. That's what people don't get when it comes to the medical professionals. But yeah, I'm trying to see if I wrote anything else. I think I already mentioned that uncontrolled blood sugar actually damages the vagus nerve, which then leads to gastroparesis and other issues. I think that's everything. It should be. Low blood sugar keeps the body from functioning. Oh no, I remember something else. If I have enough space to say this. So last thing, if you're having this type of pain, you're gonna get lied to about it and told that you just need to stop eating the fried chicken you're not eating or something like that. But if you're having what seems to be stomach pain that hurts extremely bad, you can't even stand up. Because I remember I used to be bent over, and that's something that my mom would talk about a lot to the doctors and other people, about how I'd be bent over and I wouldn't be able to stand up, because it wasn't even just stomach pain. Due to the fact that I couldn't digest food, and other things that go along with that, my muscles would actually cramp to where I wouldn't be able to stand up. And I don't just mean I was in so much pain I couldn't stand up. It wasn't even that. I literally couldn't stand up and I wouldn't be able to walk or anything. And I would have acid reflux. That's from the low stomach acid. And the pain would be in my stomach and it would radiate to my back and cause chest pain. And like not really a migraine, sometimes it would, but it's like it would shoot up from my back to my chest to one of my shoulders, can't remember which one because I haven't had it in a long time, to my forehead somewhere on either side. That's pancreas pain, not just stomach pain and not even just acid reflux, although you could have that at the same time as acid reflux. But if you have all that going on, that's pancreas issues, which the pancreas has a really big role in digestion. Sure, your stomach has the HCl, but after that, it's the pancreas. Then there's also the liver, gallbladder side, but yeah. What else was I gonna say? Because I'm falling asleep. And then lastly, all the pain that you may think is your stomach may not even be your stomach. So like I just described, as stomach pain, it's technically pancreas pain. Then some other pain that I would think was stomach pain was actually kidney pain. Then there's also the bladder pain, but I mean, I usually could tell that that wasn't really my stomach. That along with the pelvic floor pain. With the pelvic floor pain that I used to have from like the mold toxicity and the mold trying to get out of my system, that was pretty obviously not stomach pain because some of it would cause spastic colon, like a really crazy type too. So there's that. Then colon pain, if I didn't already say that. And one of the ways to know is by learning the different quadrants and other symptoms you're having with the pain. Trying to think of what else to say. That could be it. Yeah. Colon, kidney, and pancreas. I still feel like I'm forgetting something. But I don't know.